What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 14. I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad that you guys are here too. And let's go ahead and start this thing. I'm RD.
I'm Jordan.
I'm RD. I am here.
You vocal today?
Yeah.
You here?
Yeah.
All right. I'm Jordan.
I'm RD. All right, I'm for real now.
All right. I'm Jordan.
I'm still RD. All right, go ahead.
I'm Jordan.
I'm TJ.
And I'm Pops.
Welcome to episode 14. Let's go ahead and kick this off. So,
Episode 14 of what?
all of it.
Of all of it.
I don't care. I'm here.
What is this?
I am here.
Men's
Welcome to the Men's Club Podcast.
I'm here. Not
So-
nowhere else.
I guess someone got their feelings hurt.
Nope, because I wasn't here to have my feelings hurt.
Well, you're here. You have your feelings hurt now, huh?
Nope, I'm here.
All right. So kicking this off with the listicles yet again. Go with
Okay, guys, tonight's episode is,
Getting weird.
yeah, as you can see, some
I'm
of
here.
us have donned special headgear for tonight's episode.
Gotta be
and-
protected.
And so we're going to talk about, or try to talk about, conspiracy theories. Now, I'll make this statement up front. We are not Alex Jones.
No.
We don't have the research department or the finances to be Alex Jones.
Or the crack.
so what we're doing is we're
Straight
just going,
lunacy.
we're going to talk about some things. I mean, there's a lot. You see it more and more, I guess, now in media and television and stuff, where people are talking about conspiracy theory this, conspiracy theory that.
Like, where was RD last
And
week?
we'll also say, too, we're
Where
not
did he
saying
go?
in any way that this is the truth one way or the other.
No.
We're just going to talk about some of these that we kind of lean towards, some of these we don't, government stuff, aliens, whatever we get into.
Some of them are just going to be off the wall.
Mhm.
Like,
So-
just like, wow, I didn't even know that.
So I've got a list. I just looked it up. This comes from. Let's see who this comes from. Give credit where credit's due. This comes from
QAnon?
Insider Magazine.
So this is a reliable source for sure.
Yeah. Frank Leto was the author of this, and this was
Frank
done May 4th on 2020 at 2:26 p.m.
Of course,
So-
it was made on May the 4th.
I was going to say, so this is recent. This is,
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
this is a
actually
new
pretty
thing.
recent.
yeah.
All right, so number one
Number
on his list of conspiracy.
How many
theories.
is this?
I don't know.
Just a number? Arbitrary
We're not
number?
going to make it
It
through
don't have one beside it. He just has them listed.
Oh, he's just going off. Okay.
Well, his title is 35.
There we go. We have a
35
number.
of the most popular conspiracy theories in the U.S.
It's amazing what happens when you read.
Yeah, I know.
Are y'all done?
yeah.
Yeah. We'll run it.
Some people believe the American military installation Area 51 is researching and experimenting on aliens and their spacecraft.
That's no some people
Go.
believe.
False.
That's,
Move to the next one.
No, that's...
Well,
next
now,
conspiracy.
well, now, the Air Force did release,
yeah, they released like a
The fact-
bunch of documents.
and
And the footage, too.
I have it on, pretty good.
Leave it to the Air Force to
Insight.
just disregard national security.
I got a pretty good insight that the Air Force actually teaches about that.
Yeah, they've been showing them tapes to the Air Force for long before they showed it to us.
The Air Force in I can't remember the dates. It was back in the 50s and 60s. They ran Operation Blue Book.
Mm-hmm.
And Operation Blue Book was its only source or only reason was to investigate
Alien aircraft.
alien aircraft. And they talk about the fact is that I don't remember exactly the number, 100 and I want to say it's like 186 somewhere in there of cases, and they were able to disprove all of them except 2 cases.
Mhm.
And the 2 cases they couldn't disprove was because Air Force pilots were the
Yep.
ones that saw them.
Yeah. The Air Force pilots were actually the ones that encountered the UFO, which, if we want to be broad term here, let's be real about it. A UFO is any unidentified
I
flying
was about
It
to
is.
say, since we're starting on aliens, I wanted to point out there's no dispute. UFOs are real. If
Yeah.
it is something you see flying and you don't know what it is, you have seen a
That's an
UFO.
unidentified flying object.
Now, the unidentified flying objects in the terms of alien saucers,
That's
more
where-
broad.
Yeah.
you know, we've got these films and stuff now, and there's, what is the name of the movie that we watched on the Operation Blue Book? Because it was a great movie.
Like a documentary or like a movie?
It was like a
Well, you know, they
it
had
was-
I want to say,
maybe it was a show,
I want to say that
like a
National
docu-series or
Geographic
something.
did
Ancient
thing on
aliens.
It
It
They did a
definitely
thing
wasn't
on it.
ancient aliens.
That was Operation Blue Book.
Yeah.
What they called it.
But you know, when they released all those documents and all those films, finally, 50 years later, and of the two that couldn't be disproven, they were both very similar. It was just lights.
yeah,
They saw lights
they were moving faster than they were.
that were moving. Not only were they moving faster than they were up there with them. They saw lights, and it was broad daylight.
Yeah.
Well, and it
The
was like
light-
a pattern of lights, too. It wasn't like a light.
No, it was multiple.
Yeah.
It was like four.
But it would move faster than they would.
And it
would
would
stop next to them.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it had the capabilities of doing things that no aircraft that we have
At the
has
time,
the capability
yeah.
of doing.
Or even now, I guess, because
Yeah.
we don't have an aircraft that I know of today that can just stop mid-flight.
But to be more specific on Area 51, give a background. Nevada Desert, military installation, very top secret, very secure, very. I mean, they talk about the fact is that they've got
The Ark of the
heat
Covenant.
sensors, they've got motion sensors,
actually
buried
got
in
one
the
on that one.
sand and all that business, and it kind of got a little popularity here.
Yeah,
Recently
when they were gonna do the
when they
raid
were
on Area
gonna,
51.
Raid Area 51.
It was a sham.
And so, I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you think that there's something?
I know there's got to be.
Okay, so here's my thing with Area 51. I don't believe that we are experimenting on aliens in Area 51. I believe
we
Area.
got government secrets.
I think Area
Yes.
51 is the birthplace of government secrets.
That's what I think,
mean,
too.
I think I think there's testing that's done there with different.
Experimental aircraft,
Things.
experimental
well,
weaponry.
I don't think it was any coincidence that nuclear testing was done in the Nevada desert.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, it's the perfect location for it, right? Barren landscape. If you mess something up, there's not a lot of wildlife for you to be killing.
Well, there's not a lot of people to see
There's
it.
not a lot
either.
of people to see it.
Nothing out there except them, so they can restrict airspace.
And if someone does see it, you can always just chalk it up to, well, they're out in the desert, dehadrated, seeing
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I think they're doing top secret things there.
I don't
I
think
just
it's
don't
aliens.
think it's aliens or alien
Yeah.
spacecraft.
well, I don't think it's aliens. I'm not going to sit here and say that we don't have. No, I'm not going to say a ship, but like maybe like some piece of a ship, if there is such a thing, that come off, got hit by something, crash landed that we're messing with. Because I mean, look at the technology that we had back in the '60s that is only becoming common knowledge today, and how advanced it was.
and not to mention the fact, and I'm just going. It's pure speculation.
It's all this.
Yeah, this is just
this is
talking.
all like
If,
speculation.
we have such a spotlight on Area 51 now. I mean, there's the town around them. They've got tourist attractions and stuff there. If there's such a spotlight on that place now, do you not think the military would have moved all this stuff by now?
No, and
anyway?
here's why. Here's why. Where's the best place to hide something?
Well, they say in plain sight, but at the same time, you run such a chance of it. I mean, and here's the thing, and let's be honest. The military, CIA, everyone, they have bases around the world, around the United States that we don't even know about.
Oh yeah, Area
Well, I
51 is
mean-
definitely not the only place.
Well, let's be real about this too. If okay, the best place to hide something's in
Got one
plain
in
sight.
Brazil.
That's incorrect in the idea of the world, because we have bases, not bases. We have research facilities now in the Antarctic,
Yeah.
where there's literally 4 people working
Yeah,
on
locked
something.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't walk up to that place.
Yeah.
because you'll die before you get there.
But at the same time, I could see it's almost. I was actually watching a thing. It was not about like aliens or anything, but it was just about like a lot of these government, quote unquote, conspiracies that aren't really conspiracies. Like with the, I guess the wrongdoing that we're seeing a lot of these world politicians getting into, and it's like, it's almost like they enjoy the fact that they know that everyone's on to what they're doing, but no one can 100% prove what they're doing. So
Well-
it's like, did I do it? Did I not do it? Are there aliens? Are there not? Who's to say?
Pizzagate, right? That's what we're talking about now.
We're talking about all of it, but yeah,
Yeah, I
Pizzagate's
mean-
one of them.
Yeah. But I get where you're coming from,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I see where it would be smarter and more prudent to move, especially something like alien aircraft,
Mhm.
somewhere where no one could be.
And I see your point on that, and that's why I think that's why they have both, right? So
Yeah.
we got those facilities, but we still have stuff going on at Area 51. Maybe not the creme de la creme.
No,
of
there's
what's
stuff going on at Area 51, but there's just not. Honestly, I believe most what happens at Area 51 nowadays is more related to Space Force than it is anything.
Well, it's like magic, right? So like Area 51's the Flash. Like, look here, this is, and
Yeah.
really, it's happening over here,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Moving on.
Okay.
And this is one. This actually deals with Alabama.
Oh.
Some believe that Truman Capote wrote Harper Lee's famous novel, To Kill a Mockingbird.
I've
Says,
never heard that.
Truman Capote
I've
and
never
Harper
heard that
Lee
either.
both grew up in Alabama and were childhood friends. They each went on to become celebrated authors. Capote wrote his crime story In Cold Blood,
Mm-hmm.
and Lee the great American novel To Kill a Mockingbird.
Mhm.
While Capote went on to write numerous books, Lee published only one other book in her lifetime, leading some to believe that Capote wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, according to CNBC. In a 2010 documentary, Lee's sister, Alice C. Lee, denied the accusation, saying Capote had been jealous of her sister's success.
Now, I haven't seen anything about that,
Hmm.
but one thing along that line that I've heard a lot about, and I've heard so much about it that I honestly am starting to believe it, William Shakespeare, Sir Francis Bacon. Bacon.
Well, I've heard that too. I've heard that supposedly that he had, if didn't necessarily write the things that Shakespeare did, but actually assisted.
Yeah, had a lot of
with
input,
stuff
yeah.
with it, which that possibly could, that very well could be true. And this here, I mean,
Well, that one comes down to like the writing style, because like
Well-
a lot of the books and plays that we see from Shakespeare don't match up with like his personal.
well, the thing is, they're basing this on the fact is that Harper Lee only wrote one other book besides this, and
Right.
Capote went on to write several novels,
Yeah.
and was very successful in every one he wrote.
Yeah.
I remember this in literature class talking about this very thing,
Really.
and that it was sort of, it kind of goes back to what you said. The writing styles were not similar enough
Mhm.
to say that it was wrote by one person,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but at the same time, they were childhood friends.
Yeah.
They knew each other. I'm pretty sure they probably stayed in touch, even because they would have ran in the same circles. being that they
bounced
were both-
ideas off each
They
other.
were both famous
Yeah.
authors. And that could have been very well it, that they did bounce ideas off of it. And, Lee could have very well have taken some of the things that Capote told
Said,
her
yeah.
and said, just like Capote could have took some of the things that Lee
Well, I
said.
mean,
Or even
Say,
gone so
if
far
you
as to
wanna-
take a break, right? Like, hey, look, I've got writer's block. You want to like swap for a little while?
Or what do you think about, this is where I'm stuck at. Where should I go next with this?
Mhm.
And it's one of the most famous novels ever. I mean, it's considered one of the finest American literature novels ever written.
Mhm.
And she's credited with it. Her name's on the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if there had been a situation where I think if somebody else would have wrote it like Capote would have, as successful as he was, I don't think he would have just stood back and said, "I'll go ahead, take it." Because
Well, I mean-
it's become standard in literature.
Yeah.
Sit there. The best way to determine if this one is fact or fiction is to actually have a linguist sit down and read the voice. Not necessarily read the book, but read the voice.
Yeah.
And if the voice matches, it's the same person.
Yeah.
If the voice doesn't match, it's not the same person, because that inner monologue that we all have,
It's all different. Yeah.
everyone's is different.
And that's too, like, I see what you're saying about why wouldn't he come forward about it, but like you said, if they were tight coming up, who's
Yeah.
to say that he didn't write it? And like we've all talked about, if I'm a millionaire, you just to consider yourself a millionaire right there with me. He very well could have been like, look, I know you're having a hard time breaking this writing thing. I've got this book. It's almost done. Why don't you finish it out and you just take it,
Next one.
Okay.
Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, but some think there was more to the story. Of course, it would happen April 4th,
This,
1968.
We were talking about this the other day in work. There was something that had to do with the guy that just recently died from the civil rights movement. That had something to do with
like put a
his
hit
death.
out on him, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, his death has been investigated by the FBI 3 times.
Really?
Did not know that.
Three separate times they've investigated.
Like opened it, closed it,
open
reopened
and close it, open and close it. When they get more information, because it was always the conspiracy. Well, the theory behind it, I won't say conspiracy. The theory was behind that that either the FBI was involved with it, or the Ku Klux Klan was involved with it,
or both.
or both. Were involved with the assassination. The Justice Department opened it 3 different times, and all 3 times they had to come to the conclusion they did not have enough hard evidence to support one or the other.
Well, I was reading the guy that just recently died from the Civil Rights Movement was the last person to speak with MLK.
He was the one that marched across the bridge with him.
And there was an FBI tape, like surveillance tape, that had caught Martin Luther King telling the guy that just died, I can literally get up there and say anything to these folks and they will believe me.
Yeah. And so that guy was pretty much
And
like...
he was like...
Really? Yeah.
Probably the FBI was like,
Yeah.
Well, he was surveyed all the time. FBI kept surveillance on him. I mean, if you've ever dug into the history of Martin Luther King, and and here's the thing, like him, don't like him, he was one of the front runner or forefathers of the American Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah.
He did more in his lifetime than a lot of these groups today will ever be able to accomplish.
When he was able to talk to people, right? Like he could...
Well, he did it. He was able to express upset, anger, in a way that you had to listen to him.
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say, and take this how you will. In my own opinion, why he was surveyed in the first place, because I believe people of the time knew exactly what he was.
Yeah.
But why he was surveyed in the first place, in my opinion, was people along the lines of like Malcolm X, who was very violent.
Well, and that's
And
the
they were
thing,
trying to make sure it wasn't
Malcolm
like a
X and
secret,
Martin Luther
yeah.
King, they were
on opposite sides of the curtain.
And Martin Luther King had even had condemned
Yes.
Malcolm X and
And,
said, this is what you're doing is wrong. This is not how you get this accomplished.
Yeah, that's kind of my point, is that since there were figures like that out there,
Almost like fighting a
Big
shadow
Brother.
war.
Well, the Big Brother wanted to make sure that he wasn't one of those figures in hiding.
Yeah, like it's, basically they're like behind closed doors. It's like, all right, what are you going to do? And then I'm going to do this to like basically play off. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense as far as like the mindset that they would have of why they would be surveilling him, right?
Yeah.
Especially in that time period when things were so volatile with the civil rights. It's really interesting. Like I haven't looked just a whole lot into it. I've always just kind of taken it at face value. It's like he was a civil rights guy and he got murdered. But
Well,
it's interesting.
And that's the thing too. Let me put this in there also. The Klan side of this, we're not talking about homeboy down the street with
Joe
his
Bob,
robes.
yeah.
No,
We're talking about the Klan, the top businessmen who were
Yeah.
actually part of the not just hate group but the terrorist group.
The behind
Judges,
closed doors,
the
almost
FBI agents.
Illuminati,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I mean, it's well known that the Klan has had, Louisiana had a governor that
Yeah.
was
A full-fledged Klan member.
What was it? What were they called? The
Grand Dragons.
Grand Dragons,
Yeah.
Oopa.
But I mean, that's just. I think there was a greater plan in effect.
Well, I think most political
He was
assassinations there
changing.
were.
He was changing the landscape of America
Mm-hmm.
peacefully,
Mm-hmm.
and that was one of the issues that they had with it, and because the movement was growing. It was at a time that needed to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt about it.
I also think,
no
though, in the
question.
grand scheme of things, in this particular situation, why it happened doesn't really matter, right? Because the fact that it happened at all changed so much.
Yeah, it did.
No.
And even his death, propelled.
Yes,
things
it
so
did.
much.
Well, it showed the glaring problem that there was.
Right.
It's not like some of these others, like the Kennedy assassination or the conspiracy around the entire Kennedy family, for that matter, where there's like so much like crazy like secret stuff at play. Like regardless of who the actor was and why, the fact that it happened at all almost benefited more. And it sounds ugly to say this, but it almost benefited the cause more than if he hadn't been, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like we talked about before. Any movement needs a martyr 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
That's true. All right.
Okay.
You ready for this one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There has been 2,032 Bigfoot sightings in Washington State.
I actually
Seen it.
Have you seen Bigfoot?
Seen it.
I actually. Okay, so there's
Like, really?
there's an infographic of the cryptids from all over the United States.
Mhm.
I love cryptids, by the way.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite things.
Yes.
So Bigfoot is, of course, major in Washington. But there are the, what do they call it, swamp monkey?
Swamp Thing.
No. It's another Bigfoot. What they relate all these creatures back to.
Skunk ape.
Skunk ape.
The Florida skunk ape, yes.
Yeah. In Florida. There is another one in like Virginia.
It's basically Bigfoot, but it's another.
Yeah, and then Yeti is just basically a white Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You know,
They're not even white. That's actually like a weird mistranslation thing. They're just Bigfoot colored.
Really?
Yep.
But you know, there's this, the Bigfoot in itself has grown so much that there have been so many fakes that you can't really tell that there was ever a real.
Well, interesting you say that. The original 1958 footprints were a prank by a man named Ray Wallace near Bluff Creek in Northern California, according to the Smithsonian. His children revealed it was all a joke after his death in 2002.
Really?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you not know?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's, you know, there's been all this research put into Bigfoot and all this other crap, and then they actually related it back to a giant sloth from prehistoric times. They were, you know, kind of like Loch Ness Monster. They were kind of like, well,
Next one, Loch Ness Monster.
well,
we'll just do cryptids all together right here. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have my thoughts on all of them.
well, you know, and that's the thing. They related it back to this giant sloth from prehistoric times, and they were like, oh, there could have just been a few species or a few examples of the species that still stuck around, you know, in an endangered environment. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I do believe there are cryptids out there,
Yes.
but I don't believe in the particularity of Bigfoot,
Yes.
or for that matter, Nessie.
So, my opinion on Bigfoot, I won't talk on Nessie just yet, but my opinion on Bigfoot, I'm not going to sit here and say that, first of all, because I don't think it's a Bigfoot. I think it is multiple. Because it doesn't make sense for one creature to be crossing so much area. So, I guess big feet. I don't think I don't think necessarily that it's
Sasquatch.
Yeah, Sasquatch. I don't think that it's
Sex.
necessarily a prehistoric creature as much as, I mean, think about the fact that we know less about our own ocean than we know about space. Well, if that's true and we discover new species of anything, bugs, whatever, on the land, it's highly possible that there is a very shy, small group of creature that could be a giant sloth, not going to say prehistoric, but some kind of large mammal that we just can't track.
Yeah, but here's my thing on that. And I'm not disproving or saying either way. But just inside the United States, how many sightings, what was it, 2,000 something just in the
Just
state
in
of
Washington. Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, the state of Washington is huge. They've
Yeah.
got some dense
Great American
they've got
Rainforest.
some- They've got
Well, it's
some,
deciduous rainforest.
you know,
is what it
they've
is.
got some,
Which is very beautiful.
major dense forest areas. They've got some tall mountain peaks. And all that being said, you're talking about a creature that is, what, 7, 8 foot tall, 6
Some
foot tall?
some have it 7, some have it all the way up to 10. It just
No.
depends.
You know, this huge,
A walking
massive
giant.
creature
Yeah.
that obviously, for it to continue since 1958, you know, they've been offsprings, they've been, you know, family
Babies had,
babies
yeah.
and things like that.
Unless it was just one, and he's got to be dead now.
We have, you know, infrared satellites. We have all this stuff. Something should have actually caught
And
a
that's
glimpse,
true.
or
That's
an
true.
image of this creature.
That's kind of why I argue against the idea of the ocean life, because that's very possible. We don't have imaging.
Yeah, we don't have the ability
ability
to go that
to
deep.
go to the
Yeah,
bottom
but-
of the Marianas Trench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a few months ago that they discovered that there were sulfur-breathing sharks living inside an active volcano.
So I was actually watching a video on the ocean today, just a short little, basically like infographic of the ocean, and the deepest point that we know for sure, Challenger Deep, it has already been said that that's just as deep as we've been able to get something.
Yeah, that's as
Yeah.
far as we've been able to go.
It's
Yeah.
such a big space that it was only very recently, like within the last 30 years, that not 100 miles to like the east of the Challenger Deep, we actually found a second trench that was the second deepest place we've ever
Right.
been.
Yeah.
And the Challenger Deep was discovered a long time ago.
Yeah.
So literally next door we found the second deepest. So who's to say like the Meg. Who's to say there's not a super deep trench with a gas bubble and there's crap living down there that we can't even fathom?
Well, you know, here's the thing.
I like you, Rick. I was just thinking that. Meg.
You can't discredit or just dismiss that there's not things living
Oh
Yeah.
at that deep, at those depths.
Well, I mean, look at the blobfish.
Yeah.
You know, we've all seen the picture of the blobfish. Do y'all realize that's a normal looking fish? It's just that when you
The
bring it
pressure.
up here, it
the pressure changes it.
dumps it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And I get
giant
your
squid, they're
point
like, oh,
against
that's just
it.
a myth,
And
and
I,
then they actually found one.
I flip flop on Bigfoot. Sometimes I kind of agree with y'all. Sometimes, like I am right now, I'm in the mood of the
Yeah.
other theory. Nessie, though, I'm 100% believer in Nessie because
Okay.
it's a water dwelling
Okay.
creature. Water dwelling creature.
But it's still it's in a lock.
let me say this. Let me read this, and we'll go with it.
Yeah.
There has been countless sightings of a Loch Ness, not necessarily the
Nessie.
one Nessie, a Loch Ness-like monster at Flathead Lake, Montana. In 1889, Captain James C. Kerr and his 100 passengers aboard a steamboat reported seeing a 30 to 40 foot long creature in Flathead Lake. As of July 2018, there has been 109 sightings of a foreign creature, according to NBC Montana. Okay, I'm with you. That's in a lake. We can put something above that lake that can
Yeah.
see everything inside that lake. You know, so that's my problem with that.
Yeah.
Are there sea creatures probably that size? Most definitely.
Well,
But this is a lake.
Yeah.
You know.
that's the thing with it. You know, that's where I'm about to go with this. The only credit I can give to a Loch Ness monster or of the Flathead monster is possibly, you know, they said it was a 30 to 40 foot creature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all know. I know you probably do, but I don't know if y'all ever heard of the Titanoboa.
That thing scares me.
It is a giant snake from, I want to say, Triassic times.
And I love snakes, but that thing scares me.
It is 30 to 40 foot, and they would move underwater.
Big around as a culvert. That thing's huge.
Yeah, they're massive. They are the biggest snake ever recorded.
Like, take the biggest currently sighted anaconda
23
today,
feet.
and it dwarfs that.
No, it would eat it in one bite. You know, and that's the only credit I could give to something like that. It would be something that is cold-blooded, that would only be in the lake at certain times. It would leave the lake, but you would feel like we would find it somewhere else,
Right.
or at least some sign of it.
Something. You know, something to go with.
Yeah.
Okay. This kind of hits on kind of what we got going on right now.
No.
Johnny Gosch, Gosch, Gosch?
Yeah.
Gosch, was abducted in 1969 from Des Moines, Iowa, and conspiracies have surrounded his disappearance for years. Let's go a little further. On September 5th, 1982, Johnny, 12, vanished without a trace from Des Moines while on his morning newspaper run. Without any evidence or leads, the case went cold and has remained unsolved, but there have been numerous conspiracy theories about what happened. Some people believe that he was forced into a child sex ring that was operating in Nebraska.
So just come up, don't know what happened.
Come up gone.
Just
Gone.
disappeared.
Yeah, no, just gone. No evidence. No
Here today,
leads,
gone
no-
tomorrow. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I could see that happening
yeah.
completely.
Yeah, all
That's-
these body snatcher, people go
Sounds-
missing, wormhole in time type thing where someone just disappears. I have a hard time not believing those just because of how much we see that happen
Yeah,
in
well,
broad daylight.
well, not just that. I saw another infographic. I love my infographics.
Yeah, I love infographics, dude.
If you will line up the most missing persons cases against places where there are massive cave systems, they line up perfect.
Well, that's what we were talking about the other day is the caverns, the catacombs in France,
Yeah.
where people will go down there to party and just
Won't come back.
won't come back.
Yeah, they're gone. And it's not because they're disappearing or something along
They just
those
get lost.
They get lost.
Yeah.
They get lost in these cave systems. They get lost in the catacombs in France. You know, they get lost all these
But, you know,
underground
I can see
areas.
lost.
Yeah.
But this kid was probably on his bicycle,
Just missing.
delivering
Well, I
his
mean,
papers, and
let's-
he's gone.
Let's talk about a 12-year-old. I mean, riding on his bike route. He sees it every day.
Yeah.
There's a mouth of a cave over here.
Ooh, I'm gonna go check this out.
I'm gonna go check this out today.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah,
But
I
also-
don't know how many caves are in Des Moines, Iowa.
I see the child sex ring more than I see anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's a legitimate. I can say
Yeah.
that's a legitimate.
Well, I mean, to take
Well,
your
you're talking
exact
possibility.
You're
to take
talking
your-
about people disappearing and
Mhm.
stuff like that, like Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah.
That's a big one. I
Well,
mean,
to
he was a
take your
grown
exact
man, though.
point about the kid, 12-year-old bike route by himself every day. Somebody sees, hey, this 12-year-old coming by
Oh,
every
every
day,
day.
every day at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Easy
might take
target.
Different routes.
All right, I got you one.
All right.
This is a good one. I can see it.
There were a lot of mattress stores,
Like
No.
like
in
sleep
Illinois,
number stores.
all within a few miles of one another, leading some to believe it was a money laundering business. In 2018, a Reddit user brought attention to the fact that there was a high concentration of Mattress Firm stores in a central area of the United States, especially in Chicago. 1,000 sharing photos and maps that show Mattress Firm stores within 0.5 miles of each other. Mob.
Oh, that's mob.
Yeah,
That's the
that's the
mob.
mob.
That's not even a
That is
question.
money,
That's the
that is
mob.
money
Yeah.
laundering.
That is money
at its
laundering.
best.
I mean, and Mattress Firm seems like the perfect way to do it.
Yeah.
Leave them
Got-
alone. They're doing nothing wrong.
I mean, I didn't say I disagreed with it. I
Yeah.
was just saying that's definitely what it is. Because I mean, look at where money laundering comes from. Laundromats, you know, clothes cleaning services.
Well, anything that can be a
Laundromat.
cash money business.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
mean-
mean, well, and, not to mention the fact, think about how much money could be transported
Oh,
inside
yeah.
of a mattress.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, I mean, me and him actually had to take anti-laundering classes,
Yeah.
and they were there was all kinds of crap that I never would have thought of
Yeah.
in these classes.
Mhm.
You know, it's wild what these people will actually do to get their money clean.
Yeah, mob conspiracies are some of the easiest conspiracies to buy into just because of how much that it goes on.
Yeah.
Even today, like, it's not as prominent, say, as the Yakuza in Japan anymore here, but it's still, like, a thing for sure.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. The mob still runs New York. Nobody just wants to talk about
Nobody wants to talk about it. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Some people believe that
Don't they?
Huh? No, no, they do not.
it.
Don't
they?
go off.
Don't know anything about them.
No. Some people believe that a research facility in Alaska is a mind-controlled lab. In the mountains of Alaska, you can find the High-Frequency Active Aurora Research Program that helps scientists study the furthest distance of the atmosphere. The facility sites on 33 acres of land and has over 180 antennas. The antennas are collecting data about the aurora borealis, radio waves, and other atmospheric occurrences.
So not
I
like
played this mission on Skyrim.
not like MK Ultra mind control, but like beaming stuff into people's heads.
Yeah.
Like,
You do remember that
we're gonna
mission, though,
dope
right?
you up.
like the thing that we actually. So this one I could see because we actually experimented with sound frequencies that can make you feel things.
Well, here's the thing,
No.
and which is it goes into right here. It says, but some think the antennas are an experimental weapon that can control people's minds. We already know that the military has a beam that will cause people, to
It's
quit.
the sound gun. It drives you crazy.
Yeah, it makes them where they don't want to do stuff.
That's exactly where we got our experimentation from. Was that that experimental weapon that they've got that it can project like a city.
I mean, let's just say
It's like
it.
a riot control.
We experimented
that's-
with
yeah.
gaslighting.
Pretty much, yeah. Like,
And
and not even
it-
gaslighting in the sense of like you gaslighting someone, but basically having them gaslight themselves.
Yeah, and it works.
Yeah.
Which is what's crazy.
Like you basically play. There's a subaural. It's like a frequency that you can't hear, but it still affects your brain.
You can feel it.
Yeah, and there's a specific range of frequencies, and it's a little different for each person. That it just makes you uncomfortable. It doesn't make you scared. It doesn't make you like crazy. It just gives you a looming sense of like something's not right.
Yeah.
Well,
check out Shepherd's Tone.
Check out the brown note.
That's also a thing. There is legitimately a frequency that can make you poop pants.
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying. I mean, we've all heard the high pitch frequency that that at one time they were advertising it for a ringtone for teenagers because old people
Old people can't hear it. Yeah.
When I'd hear that, y'all had it,
Yeah.
and tried to use it, and I was ready to kill y'all
Because it was
it
driving
felt like
nuts,
it was
yeah.
piercing through my eyeballs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. me and you are kind of an exception because we have extremely good hearing.
Yeah.
You know, and
What?
I was waiting for it. I was like, who's going to say it first?
no. I mean, but I'm not going to say like, oh, it's proven we're supersonic. No, we just have a higher frequency.
Well, we can hear higher ranges.
Yeah, when you take that test, you get
Yeah.
above the average. I do the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and we hear stuff that other people don't, which is kind of why I can see how certain notes affect people differently.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's like this gun. It looks like a friggin' TV antenna on a stick hooked up to a radio. And when they shoot it, like you said, there's a version that makes people just not want to do anything. There's a version they use it for like riot control that like hurts you, like it makes you like crippled. Like, oh my god, I'm nauseous. I want to throw up.
Ones we have at the a place, it has its own
The place.
It's on tripods and it's like the huge speaker.
Like a satellite, don't it? Or is it a speaker?
Well, it's a big speaker.
But it looks like a satellite dish, basically. Yeah.
No.
This is one. I buy into this in a little bit. The Denver International Airport is well known for its number of conspiracy theories. Including,
Absolutely been there, and I can see why. I already know where this is going.
I've never heard this. So
I haven't
You've
either.
never heard this?
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
This is
For
good.
starters, the airport was $2 billion over budget. $2
Okay.
billion over budget.
Where'd that money come from? Yeah.
Leading some to believe it has an underground structure that is either used as bunkers or as the headquarters of the supposed world-controlling group, the Illuminati.
All right, I don't buy the Illuminati thing, but go on.
Others believe the building was built by neo-Nazis because markers and plaques around the airport say it is funded by the New World Airport Commission.
That I believe. I can
But
buy
no
that.
information can be found on this organization anywhere.
Just talk about the statue.
The art around the airport is also some people's cause for concern.
Yes.
Most notably, there is a 32-foot sculpture of a horse that fell on its scepter and killed him. Murals around the airport are also troubling, as some include images of Nazi officers in a gas mask, children near a burning building, and the devil jumping off of a suitcase.
That is weird.
That's
Why
true.
is this in an airport?
This is true. I mean,
Denver is
yeah,
whack.
there's a lot.
nothing
there's a
okay
lot
about
of,
this.
There's a lot of YouTube videos that you can go to
Yeah.
and look at Denver. Matter of fact, we're going to be traveling next month,
Yeah.
and originally we were actually
Gonna lay
doing
over
a
in
layover
Denver.
in Denver, and I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So I could show you Mama.
Yeah.
But now we're going to Phoenix instead because it got changed up, which is still another good thing. Because you've never been to Phoenix Airport, never landed at Phoenix Airport. Here's your conspiracy theory: they land that baby in a corkscrew. It's the only place in the world that the landing pattern is a circle.
That's weird.
You do a complete circle till you hit the ground.
Also, when we talk about the fact that Denver International Airport is like so far away from the city of Denver.
Everything. It's
Yeah.
away from everything.
It's like
I mean-
its
I
own
mean,
separate.
No,
mean,
when you're flying in,
Uber-
you can
Uber
see
goes, no.
Denver.
Uber won't
way
even take
away.
you.
Yeah, they will. But I mean, they're like, oh, that's extra $25 for me to come out there.
Yeah.
It's so far away. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
I'll have to look more into that because
Yeah,
I buy
'cause
into
check
stuff like
out
that.
the art though, because when I was in there, I was like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
man, this is kind of weird. Then my dad showed me a YouTube video on it, and I was like, okay. So I flew back to Denver, and I started paying attention. And I was like, where's this horse at? But at night, the horse, his eyes glow red.
That's weird. I
Weird.
don't like
That's
that.
strange.
I don't
There's
like
nothing
that.
okay
But-
about the Denver
but-
Because
airport.
somebody had to make that call, right? Somebody had to be like, give it red eyes.
Yeah.
Well, also the fact is that those plaques are up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The New World Order, or New World Order Airport, something.
New World.
New World Aircraft, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
That's up. That's on there, and they've done numerous researches on this organization, and nobody can find anything.
Well, this falls
That
back to my
doesn't
thing
make
about
any
Area
sense.
51. They love the fact that they can put this in front of your face, but there's so much going on around it that you can't prove it. And they enjoy that. Talking about
This
the devil
is-
though, the devil artwork,
Yeah.
and backing up.
Jumping off a suitcase.
Well, backing up to cryptids for a second. One I absolutely 110% don't believe in is Jersey Devil. I think that's a little bull crap.
Okay, but going back to the Denver airport now, what this sounds like to me, and there's going to be some hate for this. This sounds like Masons.
Well,
This sounds like the Masons.
good. I mean,
This is why I've always chosen
that's a
Denver
whole different show.
every time.
That- don't-
That's-
don't
we
even-
gotta
don't
go
even
on a
bring that up.
completely
That's
different-
A whole different show.
That's
Right.
by itself a show.
That's a whole different show that
That
We liable to come up missing if we film that show.
may want to think about deleting that out. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Continuing down the road.
No, say it. Say it. No, moving on. Moving
Not
on.
not today.
There is a great active volcano under Yellowstone
Oh,
in
absolutely.
Wyoming, and if it erupts, it could wipe out the United States. Conspiracists believe the government knows when this eruption will happen.
That's
Okay, I was about to say. So I didn't think it was a could. I thought the Yellowstone supervolcano was confirmed that it would just
It's
destroy
certain.
America.
Well, they
Well,
know that. They
okay.
know that if it ever erupts, that it's going. It can take out.
Here's the thing.
entire western seaboard.
It'll take out the entire western seaboard, and smog will cover what it doesn't
Well, now wait a
flow
minute.
in lava.
Wait a minute. Right here, there are facts on it.
Mhm.
There is an active volcano that measures 44 miles across, and if it erupts, it could wipe out the entire United States.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm about to get to. We are actually. I've looked at a bunch. Love my infographics.
Yeah.
Looked at a bunch of them. Yellowstone worries me. Don't know why. It just does.
Well, it's because of them.
It's a supervolcano.
That's what it is. Those geysers don't happen by accident.
Well, I mean that's the thing with it. But we are still inside the smog zone,
Mhm.
but we are not supposed to be inside the deadly smog zone.
I believe you. Something about the ash snow that would come off.
Yes.
It's like 20 years of just
Well, that's
constant.
the thing, not to mention that even if you weren't affected by the actual
Kill zone.
eruption
Yeah.
of the volcano,
Yeah.
the impact, social, economic,
It's
all
gonna
these
kill
things
crops.
that it's going to affect.
Well, and
if it
two,
ever
isn't it
happens,
supposed
it's
to like
gonna
break
affect-
fault lines up if it
Yeah, I
if
mean,
it pops?
Yeah.
if it, California's probably gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean San Andreas Fault's gone.
It's going to break free.
Why don't it's like everybody's worried about Yellowstone, but they forget that the tallest mountain in the continental United States is Mount Rainier, and that thing's a huge volcano.
Yeah, I mean it is, but that's the thing. It is Mount Rainier, and it's
Yeah.
in Washington.
Yeah.
It does not affect near as much of the United States as Yellowstone.
Well, the
does.
Yellowstone
But they're all
supervolcano's like
connected.
smack
Yeah,
in the
they're all.
middle.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing. I've read that, or not read it, I've heard it. Talking about the fact is that if this volcano erupts,
Chain
it will
reaction.
chain reaction so many other smaller volcanoes
Hood, Helen,
that it will
Rainier.
cause of the mere release that this thing's going to do, and the fact is that all the fault lines are going to shift. Everything's going to happen.
Didn't Mount St. Helens already go off once?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
it's had
devastating.
Yeah.
over 100
80s, I think,
active
wasn't it,
earthquakes.
And that was what I was
This year
going to say.
alone.
If you survive the kill zone, if you survive the secondary kill zone, if you survive the other volcanoes popping and the fault lines shifting, the earthquakes that's going to cause.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things, tidal waves, all this stuff is going to take place because
Well,
of
I
this
mean,
eruption.
It's
But the fact that the Fed might know, like,
Tsunamis.
this is when this
See,
is gonna
that's
go
where I
off.
had the problem
don't-
with. I had the problem
Yeah.
with that, because I mean,
that's okay. So there is no conspiracy that Yellowstone will erupt one of these days. It's going to.
Yeah, it's gonna. It's a time bomb for
Yeah.
sure.
Do I think the Fed knows when it's going to happen? Absolutely not. They
No,
can't
I'm-
accurately measure when we're going to get clouds.
I think
don't
they can
care.
guess. I think they can look at the patterns.
yeah, and there's active, there's, every day there's scientists that study that very thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're looking at patterns and everything else, but be able to say, okay, it's going to happen tomorrow. I don't think they can do that.
It seems to me, especially with the fact that all these geysers popping off as like steam release, it seems to me that if we just drilled a big hole right down the middle of it, it would help slow down.
I don't know if we have a drill bit that can.
Oh, the Russians
survive
do.
lava.
Remember that big old crater that they
Yes.
made?
Yeah, that was a totally different thing.
Yeah,
You're talking about the gates
have-
of hell.
It
They
didn't-
they drilled into natural gas and by accident because they thought it was oil.
Yeah, it's still burning, isn't it?
Well, I think it's still burning.
But that's
But-
burning natural gas. That's not lava.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying
True.
though, because it wasn't burning when they drilled into it.
Yeah,
They-
it ignited afterwards, didn't it?
No, they said, we thought this was oil.
Oh, it's
This
burning.
was a bad idea. Let's light it on fire and burn out the pocket.
Yeah.
They still haven't burned out the pocket.
Yeah, they're pretty much like there might be cool stuff down here. Let's
You
get
know
this
when
hole
they're-
open.
You know right now that Putin's sitting back going, these idiots. You know how much
They're gonna
natural
fire
gas that
somebody
would
else
have
now.
gave Russia if they'd have been able to continue to pump that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, some believe that the chamber behind Mount Rushmore holds some big secret.
I can believe that.
That was in National Treasure
If they
too.
say now Nicholas Cage has already proved that's true.
Yeah, I can believe that. But here's the reason I can believe that. What is in a true military flagpole?
Well, it's the little gold thing you see at the top is called a truck.
Mhm.
And inside that truck is razor blade, one bullet, and a key.
What's the key for?
The key, let me think. I'm trying to think what the key is for. Okay, the bullet's obviously to kill yourself. The razor blade is to take the flag and cut the stars out, and you're actually supposed to ingest
Eat 'em.
the stars.
Wow.
No, sorry, not a key. It was a match. You're supposed to light the
Yeah.
flag on fire.
What do you do with the razor blade?
You cut the
Cut-
stars
cut
out.
the
So you cut the stars out and
so
burn
that
it.
it's no longer a flag.
Oh, so you're
The
not
bullet-
defacing a flag.
The bullet
Okay.
is a 45 ACP because of the 1911. But if you notice at every flagpole, and if you go to military bases, like you go visit your son and stuff, you need to look at the very bottom of the flagpole because there's a big release tube.
So you can get it down.
You pull that thing, and it's supposed to fall over perfectly straight.
That's
And-
cool.
Yeah, and
You get the truck open, take the bullet.
crack the truck open.
So it's like basically like if
So
If something were to happen
since
for there
he's
to be
gonna
a
dance
fall.
well, no. Since he's going to dance around it, in the event that a base falls,
Yeah.
the last person standing
It's supposed to do that
Cut-
with the flag.
cuts up the flag,
And kills
ingests
himself.
it, kills themselves,
Which there's
so
a-
that the
every
flag
military
cannot
base-
be captured.
and also no POWs as well.
No.
Every military base has a designated flag
Eater?
detail.
A flag eater?
Yes.
So like they've
Flag
got
eater.
like a group of guys that it's like it's your job to stay alive to do
And
this.
every single one of those guys is one from every unit on that base.
Really.
Yep.
So there's like one
I
unit.
was actually lucky enough to be the cannon firer for 2 months when I was there.
So basically, like from each unit, it's like if you're the last guy alive on the
Yep.
base, this
And
is
it's
your
usually
job.
a non-commissioned officer.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But that's why I can believe that there's something major behind Mount Rushmore.
Well, they say, because the hidden chamber is behind Lincoln's head.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. Says
Is it in
it's got a the
Is it in the back of
sculptor
Lincoln's head?
Borgum. I ain't gonna say his first
Where
name.
the bullet came through?
Created an 18-foot door behind the landmark that leads to an open room that is 74 feet long and 350 feet or 35 feet high. Intended to place America's prized possessions in this room.
So it's basically
It
like
was
a vault.
supposed to be called the Hall of Records. Is
Yeah.
what it's supposed to have been called. And I mean that makes sense.
Well, if there's already a room that you've tunneled out, why wouldn't you put a secret room? And in my opinion, I don't think it's like a command center or anything. It's probably a bunker.
Well, here's the
probably
thing. It
fallback
says
shelter.
now wait a minute. While the room does contain important historical documents, like the U.S. Constitution and Declaration of Independence, it is now sealed off from the public, leading many to create theories. Some believe the government is hiding something incredibly secret in there, like proof of extraterrestrials.
Wait,
Others
so the
believe
vault, the big room that the door goes into,
yeah,
already has like Declaration of Independence.
and the Constitution in there.
So wait, how do you even get to this? Like, was it open to the public?
Yes, at one time it was.
Like a
At
museum.
one time you could you could walk back there and see that, but they've
Okay.
got it sealed
I
off
like
now.
know nothing about
Says
Mount
others
Rushmore.
believe there is a hidden treasure. There's hidden treasure in the room as the ideal explored in Nicolas Cage.
So the National
Well-
Treasure Declaration was bullcrap then, because it wasn't even the real one in that museum when he stole it.
In the Smithsonian?
Yeah.
It is actually the real one. I think it's been moved to the Smithsonian when they closed that. Because if you'll look into the safeguards they have on the Declaration of Independence, it's ridiculous. Like, National Treasure only touched the surface of it. It's crazy.
What if it's all those safeguards for a fake and the real one is
Imagine
still?
the security detail to move that, if it was true, to move it from Rushmore to the Smithsonian. Imagine that.
Well, I mean, as much as we've talked about these false
Well-
leads with the government, I could
Yeah.
absolutely see them putting that much security on a fake.
Well,
Well, not to
And
mention
just
the
some guy in a
fact,
pickup
that's
truck
the
driving
thing.
a real one.
You've got to actually commit that way.
Yeah.
If you're going to try to sell, a fake,
no.
you've got to commit it like it's.
Yeah, you have
real
to treat
thing.
it like it's the real article.
And I can't help but believe that, I don't know, I may be very naive, stupid, whatever you want to call it. I can't believe that we would entrust a museum with the actual Constitution.
Well, it's
Not as
it's-
much crap that goes
it's a
missing from
government-run
museums.
museum.
Well, at the same time, it's still somewhere that hundreds of thousands of people go through every day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think the real one's probably there. I
That's
think
like the
it's
Mona
probably
Lisa.
rolled
I don't
up.
think the Mona Lisa is actually in the Louvre.
Well, that's already known. That's known that a good majority of the famous paintings that are around museums,
Aren't real.
especially in Europe, are not the real thing.
Yeah.
That they are actually copies that have been done by other famous artists.
like professional.
Because then the
Here's-
Germans steal almost
a
all
bunch of it.
Yeah.
You got to remember they stole a lot of treasures from the
There's
Jewish
a whole
people.
movie
Yeah.
on this.
Here's
Yeah.
here's funny. I guess it's funny. Have y'all ever actually looked into the Mona Lisa?
I know it was never finished.
There were 18 renditions when they X-rayed it.
Really?
there are 18 other paintings underneath the Mona Lisa.
So like he started one, he's like, I don't like that. Started another
They're
one.
all renditions of the Mona Lisa.
So that's why it was never finished, because he just kept doing it over.
No.
and
Never
over.
got it right like you wanted.
Yeah.
Which has led a lot of people to believe that he was trying to get a message right.
Like
Maybe.
sending a signal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, as smart as Da Vinci was, and all of the other stuff that we're just now finding out from his journals that were written in friggin' codex,
Yep.
I believe it. Like Da Vinci Code, that book and that movie is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, the stuff that.
All right. Some people in Idaho say the government is poisoning them with chemicals.
I believe
Chemtrails.
Oh, these are chemtrails. I don't believe in the chemtrails.
I believe in
That's-
chemtrails, but I don't believe in lethal chemtrails.
Yeah.
the people in Idaho are still like really salty about Ruby Ridge. So anything to do with the government, they're like, nope, it was them.
The frogs are gay.
Frogs are gay.
Put chemicals in the water to turn the freaking frogs gay.
Yeah, no. Idaho, stick to the corn.
As crazy as he is, you know he was right about the Chinese
Or
pig,
potatoes, my
pig
bad.
children.
What?
Yeah.
Alex Jones, like as crazy as he was 100% right about the Chinese pig children. They were legitimately doing experiments all the way up into the 80s, if not still now, where they were trying to crossbreed like pig genes into babies.
Yeah, because they were trying to do it for stem cell research.
Yeah.
China's a problem.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, what you got next? Because we just totally dismissed chemtrails.
Yeah. Well, we're getting close to being done anyway. For years, people across Minnesota have reported hearing low humming or roaring sounds coming from the sky. Now, I watched
Yeah,
a Dateline on this.
And not only did I watch,
That's how long ago it's been.
not only did I watch Dateline on it, I watched a YouTube video of the recording of the
Yeah.
humming.
You
It's
know what it is,
happening.
right?
like to this day, it's happening.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still happening. It
You know
goes
what
back
it
even
is.
to
What is it?
2018.
It's
RD's
the-
gonna break us
It's
in.
the weather systems. There's one in Mississippi.
It's a whoa.
Yeah. You not watch the video? Like they actually went behind the scenes and like makes clouds.
Oh, the weather machines.
Oh.
It produces a huge.
Okay, so he's crazy.
I'm serious. Look it up.
He went by a nuclear power plant and went, "Oh, weather machine."
No,
Now,
there's a
I-
video of a guy. And
I
he was
think
like
that
10
there
minutes
is-
later started raining. He's like, "Holy crap!"
I think.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, is this the next one?
Some people believe the Joplin tornado in 2011 was actually created by the military.
The weather machines.
So wait,
I've heard
Wait.
stories.
Are we talking April 27th, 2011?
It has
May
to be.
22nd, 2011.
The
May
other one,
22nd.
not
This-
the natural one.
This
The
the one.
other one.
It's from the same. Well,
The same supercell.
it's close to it.
Yeah.
It started out there out west, made its way through Missouri.
Yeah.
Joplin, Missouri.
Okay, so that supercell that I'm talking about, April 27th, that's the one that hit Hackleburg, Phil Campbell. Over
Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa.
Devastated the South.
Over
Yeah, no,
300.
we got hit too.
Over 300 tornadoes in that supercell.
Mhm.
Furthest one north, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and this leads back to what we talked about earlier. In this, the read up on this says in May 22nd, 2011, at 5:41 p.m., Joplin, Missouri, was hit with a devastating tornado with winds reaching 200 miles an hour. The tornado leveled the town and killed 161 people. However, the out of this world strength of the tornado led some to create conspiracy theories. The most popular theory is that the tornado was created by the U.S. military at a facility up in Alaska known as the High Frequency Active Aurora Research, or HARP.
Now that one I could buy because think about, like you said, that supercell had 300 tornadoes in it. Now I'm not saying that the Fed caused the supercell, but if you were trying to test a weather weapon, why wouldn't you do it during the biggest active storm
Yeah.
supercell in the
But it
world's
says-
history?
Yeah, it says the facility studies the Earth's upper atmosphere, but many believe it can create hurricanes and tornadoes, like the one in Joplin.
Because you would be able to get away with it. If there's already 300, who's to say that 299th one was man-made? That would be the perfect time to do it.
But I'm serious. Check out the video. There's a guy.
I've
he's like,
heard about the weather machines, and I think that there's some
Huge.
credence to it. I don't know that the humming is the weather machine, though.
Oh,
I
wait
think
till you
Dale
watch the
Jeffries had a
video,
weather
it's
machine.
loud.
So I think Dale Jeffries had a weather machine.
Probably.
That was the joke we always had because it would be raining, falling a flood, and then right when practice time hit, it was sunny.
Yep.
If he walked outside and raised his hands, the sun came out.
No, that guy just had a pact with God. It was just like, my whole lineage will be short if I can just stop the rain.
The Safeguard Complex in North Dakota was built during the Cold War, but some think it's related to the Illuminati.
I just can't buy into the Illuminati. There's times I'll go down rabbit trails and think like it's cool to talk about. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
Not the Illuminati. I think there might be an organization, but I don't think the Illuminati's a thing.
Says the Stanley R. Mickelson.
Mickelson?
Yeah.
I'll go with that one.
Yeah.
Safeguard complex in North Dakota was built in the 1970s to detect incoming missiles. The $500 million building is shaped like an unfinished pyramid, much like the one you can see on the back of a dollar bill, and has a round circle on each face. Mysteriously, the building was opened and in operation for only one day. It opened on October 1st, 1975 and closed on October 2nd, 1975 when Congress decided to end the program, leading many to construct conspiracy theories, some assuming the building is actually used by the Illuminati because of its pyramidal shape, which is a symbol of the Freemasons. Cut that out later. The teachings of a large secret society. Cut that out also.
Now, I don't know about all the Illuminati crap, but I just want to touch on the fact that the pyramids, that stuff, like, I'm 100% that there was something weird going on with the pyramids, because around the world we have these ancient cultures putting up these massive monoliths by hand, and we can't get a road crew to finish I-24.
I'm just saying. I mean, the pyramids, they use water systems to lift those bricks. It's the same thing if you stick a straw in the water and you.
But
wash
where are they? Where's the evidence of them? Right?
it's dry.
Well, not to mention that there's canals all around the pyramid.
I get that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, in Rome, we had the aqueducts, right? Like, we set our timeline back crazy during the Dark Ages. We had, like, dang near electricity going in ancient Rome.
Ancient Egypt did have electricity.
Yeah, and so,
You ever heard of the Egyptian battery?
yeah, I thought it was the China is the one I know, though, where
was
it's the Chinese
Egyptian.
urns, you know?
Well,
Rome actually had a
Egyptian
vending
Egyptian did
machine.
it too.
Rome had a vending machine.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, not doing this one.
Why? Freemason stuff? Yeah.
So are we getting censored every time we say Freemasons?
No, I'm not doing it.
We're just not going to talk about it.
I'm not talking about it. y'all won't go down that rabbit hole. I'm going to the house.
Drop that address.
Mysterious clouds formed over Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in 2011, prompting conspiracy theorists.
It
Weather
also
machine.
happened in Little Rock too. I know it's like the big pocket circle ones.
Says,
like
says
that
looks
there.
as if they were a hole punched in the sky.
Yeah.
Weather machine type stuff.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to throw this out there for table to discuss. Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars, not the movie.
Not the
The
movie.
project.
The project.
Reagan's project.
Yes.
Yes. We totally used that to destroy an asteroid a few years back.
Oh, that happened. For sure.
Yeah.
No, it did not. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
it did.
it did not.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Star Wars is still up and operational.
No, it is not.
Star Wars
Wait a
is just
second.
up and operational.
Wait a second.
Star Wars is being improved.
No.
So that wasn't a true
it
story
is
based
not.
off Bruce Willis.
No.
I'm just gonna go ahead and leave. Take a leave of absence for another 2
That
weeks.
was the last one.
So now we can diverge into our own just weird theories and discussion.
Actually, no.
Oh, we out of time?
Yes, we are.
Really?
We're right at it.
Pants aren't really pants.
They're
D.B.
shirts
Cooper.
for your legs. I want to revisit this topic because there's so much on that, and I love talking about it.
Part 2.
All
Not
right.
now.
But we're out of time.
Yep.
So, hit like, hit subscribe, share with your friends.
Please share.
We're getting so close to 100, guys.
That giveaway is still on.
You know what? I'm not even asking. Share.
Also, please comment on this one. Favorite conspiracy theories? What do you want us to look into? I know, of the 70 of y'all, I know at least 40 of you are kooks. I know you are. Because I know some of you personally.
But links are going to be in the description. I almost said MySpace.
Get on that MySpace. Send Tom. Tell Tom we
I was
sent you.
going to say Tom.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all there. When we get, like we said, I think it was last week, get a few more followers, we'll be moving to other platforms and whatnot.
Yeah, we gotta get those numbers up so that they'll take us. Is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and but yeah, definitely like get on that. We finally broke 70. I thought we were gonna sit at 69 forever because everybody was like nice and nobody wanted to change the number. But we have passed it, so there's no excuse.
But I will
now.
say this, and I'm going to be that YouTuber that says this. When you look at our views, we have a lot more people watching our videos than are actually subscribing to our videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need everybody that's watching them and we're seeing the numbers pretty consistent. So we know that the same people. The same, people are showing up and watching them every week. Just go ahead and subscribe.
We're not just watching
over
them, but now that we're
300
getting
the first episode, like if we can get all those.
well, now that
300.
we're getting shorter, not just watching them, but finishing them.
Yeah, going all the way through them. And if you've noticed, we have started cutting our time back. We're starting to pay more attention to our time, simply for that reason, because we're wanting people to watch it from start to finish. And we knew when we were doing it that hour and 45 minutes is a long time to watch something. Unless you've got celebrity guest host on there, so we don't have that.
Not yet.
All we got's RD. But
if you'll share about word of mouth and subscribe, we can get there. That's the biggest thing. Is the more subscribers we get, the more YouTube wants to play with us, the more other people want to play with us, which in turn gives us better opportunities.
Yes. But with that, we're already at time limit. So I'm Jordan.
And TJ.
I'm RD.
And I'm Pops.
And I'm RD.
Don't forget your tinfoil hats.
Cha-ching, ching, pow.
But I'm still RD, and I'm here.